Howdy, Sinistello. And hello, everybody. It's Monday afternoon. We designed the loot box game this morning, and we're going to start coding it now. I gave AI a task to just set up some boilerplate stuff. So let's see what it did. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Yeah, not having to do this stuff myself is wonderful. So we should have a cheat that lets us go here. And I don't think we do yet. And why is this green? I am going to probably add this to the dictionary. Hey, Schwartz. Okay, they do actually write it as two separate words. I don't think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. So I'll just add this to the dictionary then. Add to dictionary. I don't know. This computer? Sure. Okay. How y'all doing? Hope you're having a good day. Hey, nice. So it should just be a blank scene. Yeah, perfect. Hit the live notification come straight here. I'm glad that notification system's working pretty well. Why is it so hot? Yeah, I've been going on walks in the morning, and it's getting to the point where it's even a little bit warm in the morning, and I'm going at like 7 a.m. So yeah, right now it's much warmer than that, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's about 80 degrees here, which is 26 Celsius, 27-ish, something like that. All right, so add loot box boilerplate. This is just a new sub game and a way to switch to it. The game itself is a gray screen right now. All right, yeah, nothing crazy here. Did it make a new folder for this? Yeah, it did. They're not even really loot boxes. I mean, they kind of are. All right, so let's look through our design. We have a bunch of different ways we could go about doing this, and there's a decent amount of work we have to do for this anyway. So one thing we could do is start to set up what the world looks like. But actually, I kind of want to start with a character. Or maybe both, I don't know. Yeah, let's go get some assets over here. So, sprites, characters, loot boxes. We're going to take the character from... Where are the adventurers? Here it is. Adventurers, and we eventually need the customers here. I think we just should not copy over the Christmas ones. But yeah, everything else looks pretty good. Your dog was confused. Was your dog happy to go on the walk anyway? Hopefully. All right, so I want to add this in. I actually just want the cleric. Although we could have the other adventurers be customers. Just not the mage. But I don't think we really need to do that. I'll just take the cleric. And what else do I want to do here? I kind of want it to work just like how it did in Skeleseller. We had a character sheet, something, animation. I forgot what I called this. Yeah, it's got to be in here somewhere, right? Regular sprite IDs. We use this here. We get this. We call setup animation frames. Yeah, so it was this code. Animation FPS was 7. And we changed our walking speed and everything too. All of these are laid out pretty much the same way. debating on how I want to do this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna adapt to this code. I think I'm gonna write a prompt for this anyway. So let's go kick that off. I should update this because there was some like terabyte logging issue thing that got fixed, where it would just spew a bunch of trash onto your SSDs. All right, and we can use the same thing that we had here, yeah. So I added what, characters, adventurers, and this is called character 1 to 8. Yeah. So I added some sprite sheets to the repo. Adventure, whoops, what happened there? Represents, like, has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 columns, 12 sprites per row, and 12 rows, right? So this should just be a square. No, it's not a square because the individual sprites themselves are rectangles. But it is still 12. And 12 rows. Rows of sprites with 12 sprites in each row. Each sprite is 16 by 20. Character. Nine, 16, and character 1724 all have, whoops. Let's see, 16 sprites per row. 8 rows of sprites, 16 sprites per row. Each sprite is 16 by 20. All right, so I want a way that looks like this. Each, so each, let me explain this. Each sprite sheet has character animations, has walking animations laid out like this. 3 columns. How do I say this? Has X characters per, or defined in them, where X is X equals rows times columns divided by 12. Yep. Each character is laid out like this. Down, down, down. Left, left, left. Right, right, right. Up, up, up. In other words, it's a three columns of sprites. Each row represents an animation. Down, left, right, then up. With 3 frames. This 3x4 block is laid out contiguously. For another game where I use these graphics, I set up the walking animations in this file using setup animation frames. Hey Goose, thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to get starting on this new game. I think we're gonna start with just getting a character to walk around for a little bit, and then get some like basic background stuff, then opening treasure chests and whatever else. We'll start to build up some mechanics. Should be fun. I think we'll make, a small amount of progress this afternoon. I only plan on spending about 3 hours on this. And then we'll take a break for a day and then come back on Wednesday. All right, so consulting that file for general structure and animation speeds. Build, like make a static function in the loot boxes game that will load a character from the sprite sheets that I mentioned. We only need the fourth character from, it doesn't matter. Yeah, actually I'll say that. We only need the fourth character from adventurers, but we need all of the customer graphics. They don't need special, the customers don't need special identifiers. But the adventure will be controlled by the player in the loot boxes game. All right, let's set this to extra high and to plan. Part of the reason I'm doing this right now is because, like starting with a character, is because I have some AI quota. There's almost no way I'm going to go through all this. They're probably going to reset this sooner than I even want to anyway. So June 24th is 2 days from now, and so this is almost exactly 50 hours from now. And I've used, 10% today? And actually 3% of that was me just saying ping so that I could kick off the limit so that it would end at 122 today. So I've got about half an hour to use as much of this as possible. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to have this thing get kicked off here. So that, whatever, set up some functions for animations here. These are not super important. And it'll come up with a plan, and we'll just see how that works. Then, in the meantime, we should have a general plan for how we want to do this. So, add, get sprite sheets, character sprite sheets processed. Then allow moving the cleric around. Call it loot boxes player. Then add in a world with a nav mesh. And I should set up the scene. I should set up a really basic scene. So I want to be able to move around. And then this world, the world should be scrollable vertically. Maybe also horizontally? I don't know. Yeah. And allow for customers to wander around. I don't know. Interactables. Treasure, spirit. For any of these, we want to indicate that the player will interact with the thing by outlining them when they enter the region. When they're close enough, I guess. And yeah, pressing an action key, jump, will trigger the action associated with them. Treasure spirit, this should allow buying chests. Treasure stand, this should open the chest given the current luck meter. And what else do we have? Oh, item stand. If occupied, this should open the price setting dialog. All right, this thing should be done. Yeah. Wait, no, it had a notification, but it's not actually done. So interactables. Then we got to code the treasure opening micro game. What else do we have here? Code the upgrade dialog. Add an on-screen widget using the Skeleseller UI for showing how much gold you have. I'd like to render everything with a gold character. That might be difficult. We'll have to look into that. Treasure stands. Yeah, need to design this a bit, especially if some upgrades have no limit to how many you can buy. Start the player with 3G, I guess. You could also multiply all this by 10. I think starting numbers at 1 is a good idea because you're going to have a 4-digit display for setting prices. So if you started them at like 10,000, well, now you have more digits you need to customize. I don't think that's necessarily fun to do. Yeah, make it so you can get loot and everything. It's basically just convert our design into a plan. All right, add a loot box is only a C# helper that builds walking sprite frames from the new character sheets. It'll support the 4th adventure for adventurers and all 24 customers across 3 character sheets. All right, add a static helper, public API, create adventurer sprite frames, return the 4th adventure, create sprite frames with the customer index, create all of them, returns all in order. I don't know if we even need this. I can always delete it. Generate animations, looks good. It's frame 0, 1, 2, 1. Yeah, perfect. Use constants, frame size 16 by 20, 3 frames per direction, 4 directions per character. Use this atlas texture, matching this existing runtime sprite frames. Drive columns and rows from texture dimensions, validated each. Map customer indexes. Perfect. Yeah, looks good. All right, what did it come up with? Wow, that took like 5%. It's not bad. Hey, Taras. Welcome in. Treasure Stan. Everyone's a treasure stan. All right, yeah, sounds good. All right, so we'll keep working through this in the meantime because there's a lot here, like a lot here. The upgrades themselves. Oh yeah, allow walking through the portal. It should ask if you're sure and offer you free loot boxes. Very silly. Oh yeah, add the animated swords. Add the animated swords from Skeleseller as rare loot. What else? No, I don't think we need that. Yeah, I don't think we need to do that either. I think I'm gonna just X out of these things. Upon trying to enter the portal, yeah, that's good. I like that. And that too. And that's good. I don't know about the sizes thing. All right, so what haven't we turned into a task here? This is pretty much done. You get some currency to buy this. Oh yeah, actual purchasing of things. Purchasing should show floating text saying minus 10 gold, even though it doesn't take the money. And I want to use the gold icon everywhere that we can. Yeah. Code customers. They should wander around and occasionally buy items or consider leaving. They should use pathfinding. They know whether to buy an item based on the target value of each item, which means we need items in the game first. We should probably write that down. Add items. These spawn from chests and fly to open stands. There is no item stacking. I don't think we need item stacking, at least. I don't think I like that idea for this. Yeah, I don't think we need that. Is pathfinding and yeah, that's probably pretty good. Buying an item should show floating text. All right, what else do we have here? Perk board, treasure spirit lets you buy a chest. Yeah, so we want to show this. We can't really show it as difficulty. I don't know what we put that as. Maybe we just show loot and cost. Maybe it's just obvious from the cost that it's better loot. Yeah, I don't even think we need a table for that. Each chest should have a price and no other information. It'll be obvious from the increased price that you get better loot. I need some actual tutorial text at some point. We need to tell you to buy a treasure chest. Then we need to, like the intro, tell you to buy a treasure chest, tell you to get the portal upgrade so that you have customers, and then tell you about opening a treasure chest. Probably in that order. Can the loot actually be better if none of the loot does anything? It can look cooler, but there's a hidden value. So let's say you get a small blue potion or something like that. The hidden value might be like 5 gold. So if you set the price to 2 gold, it'll definitely sell. If you set the price to 8 gold, like it might sell, probably not. And if you set it to like 50 gold, it'll never sell. So that's where the loot actually matters. And even then, it's like the money doesn't matter. So you don't have to do any of that. All right, multiple treasure stands will allow you to get more treasure stands. You can set the prices. Yeah, so we need to allow price setting. Allow price setting. Each item should know its target value. We could even randomize. I don't think we need to do that. Yeah, I don't think we need to randomize it. All right, this is done, by the way. So let's go take a look at the code. I mean, it's all in here. Oh, nice. Yeah, I wanted to reuse the same function. This is also fine. This can be a pattern, right? Yeah. This isn't really necessary. I don't know if we need that function. I'll probably delete that. Yeah, I'll probably delete that. We probably want to cache these though somewhere. I don't think we're caching them right now. Create spray frames. Yeah, I'll delete this. And this should probably cache whatever we use. Yeah. Sheet layout. What was that? Character count? Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Where do we use the character count? And I wonder why we didn't just have this return an integer. Oh, we checked to see if it's the expected amount. This is pointless, isn't it? Yeah, I think this is pointless. Yeah, there's not much of a point at least. Yeah. So now I want to go add in make a loot boxes player. Make loot boxes player.tstn. That I guess this could have all the graphics inside the scene. Like I didn't even need to do things this way. No, I think it's fine. That has a custom script, loot boxes player.cs, which uses the 4th adventurer sprite. In an animated sprite 2D. Yeah, I guess code some simple walking. Yeah, so what game is closest to the walking we have for this? Probably top-down shooter. No, the farming game. The farming game is closer. Farming player. Physics process. Yeah, here we go. Allow for walking in. I actually don't care about just the cardinal directions. In any direction using this. Yeah. When moving, pick the closest cardinal direction and switch to that direction's walking animation. This code will probably loosely resemble the code in Farming Player. Physics process, right? My God. Yeah, this one I'll have it plan. Run around deleting all the pointless code. I have no code left. That's not true. All of my code is pointful code. All of it. All right, so the prices of items on it. Oh, by the way, did you get extra feedback, Flair, from other people? I know you went to the convention. I remember you were bummed. I shared a video. Did you ask other people too after you had the new tutorial? I hope everything's going well. Maybe prices for valuable items start out higher. So I guess like show the currently set price above the item at all times. I'm not certain I like that idea. Yeah, I'm not certain I like that. And then prevent soft locking at some point. If you have fewer than, which is how much it takes to get a wooden chest, then the chest should open to with at least 2 items. Is there a way to be in a soft lock state here? Yeah, that's the only logic we need for that. That's the only logic we need. We don't have to consider how many items are already in your shop. Anything else? I think that's probably it. I guess the actual upgrades, like we need to make the portal. Where is that? First upgrade is to give you a portal. Other upgrades we still need to design. Should movement itself be free 2D or snap to the chosen cardinal direction? Yeah, free 2D. That's what I said. When I told it. All right, and I'll just write code the other upgrades. That'll be clear enough what I mean for that. Any point you can walk through the portal. Opening chest is the micro game. Yeah, so have we coded that? Code this micro game. Yeah. So each meter fills over time based on the chest tier. E.g., wooden chests stay closer to 100% luck for longer. It's just be a mouse cursor pointing at nothing. Just be a flickering text input thing. Just there on the screen. Always pointing at line 1. All right, cool. Yeah. I think this is all pretty good. All right, so what's the plan for this? Add a new LOOTBOXES player.tscn and CS. Use the 4th adventure sprite via this. The player will move freely while choosing the closest cardinal direction. Sounds good. Add this under there. Looks good. Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is also fine. This is probably gonna be the entire character. And ready, assign sprite frames face down by default. Show the standing frame. Well, that doesn't matter. I don't really care about that. Use this, move the raw input director, vector, including diagonals, pick facing animation. Oh, wow, cool. I forgot I even made that. I'm glad I found it. Map facings, generated animations. Yep. While moving, play a selected walking animation only when it changes. When stopped, keep the last. Oh, yeah, you can stop now, right? Your characters could never stop in Skeleseller, I guess. Yeah, let's try this. Cool. We probably want to allow you to move a little bit faster, maybe. Although that could be an upgrade too. So what was I missing from that? Oh yeah, that's right. It was the walk down stuff. These are string names, but they're not in Godot's string names. So I think we need to move these here. Do we not already have it? Walk. Huh. Huh, indeed. They're just walk here because what we do is we plug them into a blend tree and an animation tree or whatever. But now we're just going to use it as an animated spray 2D. Okay, well, then we should make a new region here and plug this stuff in. I'll go do that now. So this will be loot boxes game. And we'll put this as walk down animation. Walk down. I know these are static here. Yeah. Although I guess, hold on a second. Do we ever use this somewhere else? Animation name. No, we never use it. All right. I will need to add this in. So down, left, right, and up. Let's just copy paste it. Down, left, right, up. And then do one of those. Okay, now we go use that over here. Well, I should probably just let this thing finish first, right? Oh, it's already done. Godot string names. Good. So it just added loot box player. And yeah, these shouldn't be here. I was trying to avoid. Godot string names dot. All right, let's just try it. Let's see how this is. I mean, I had to code hardly any of this. So can we move a little character around? Well, in that game we can. In this game we cannot. We don't have anything there yet, I guess. Loot boxes. Loot box player. Yeah, so put that there. All right, now we should be able to see them. I gotta change that. Hey, look at that. This is so weird. You were never able to control these characters. Also, their walking animation speed should probably be based on... Actually, maybe they just always move at full speed. But they should definitely be moving faster, I think. God, this is funny. This is funny to see this character like this. Hey, Steven. Did animated sprite 2D for the first time? In this particular game, pretty much yes, because we needed animation trees for practically everything. But this is the one case where we don't really need it because we don't have a bunch of different actions. It's just walking. Like in the farming game, we had shoveling and using the axe and whatever else. And with the platformer, we had a whole bunch of different actions. And with the top-down shooter, we had moving, shooting, dying. This game is literally just walking for your character. There is no moving items. There is no attacking. There is no dying. There's no taking damage. So just an animated sprite is totally fine. We just play a walking animation. So yeah, your speed should be faster than 40. Walk speed, maybe 80. This we can balance later. I just wanted to feel good enough for testing. Oh my god, I gotta fix that now. Else I'm gonna keep forgetting. Flow control start in the loot boxes game. Yeah, that's the kind of speed we want out of this character. And yeah, being able to move in any direction is really nice. I think we could probably just leave it. You can actually see the problem with my controller. If I try moving in a smooth circle here, you see when I move down and to the right, it moves really slowly. When I move up and to the left, it moves quickly. So the way I've been doing this in other games is I press down and to the right on the D-pad so that it moves at full speed. Because these are digital buttons, but this is an analog stick. And it just doesn't work that well when you go in like this exact direction. Yeah, looking pretty good. I like this a lot. Yeah, I like this a lot. All right, so this is done. Look at how fast we're churning through these things. All thanks to just AI doing it for me. It's putting me out of a job. All right, so we're gonna leave in for now. Although eventually we need to change that. So I'll write some cleanup stuff over here. Clean up, change flow control flag so that we don't always start in the loot boxes game. All right, let's review some code now. That's good. This I did myself. This I also did myself. This is not going to say like that. We're going to need to flesh out the world. These I added, but I didn't draw them myself. Oh, which means we now need to add, what's his name? GIF. I think he pronounces it GIF to the credits. Yeah. Unless he's already there. No, he's not already there. Oh, no, there he is. He's the first one. Okay, never mind. We're already done. Easy peasy. No need to add them because they're already there. All right, so we're not using customer spray frames yet. We will eventually. Yeah, I don't need to do anything here. So the player just has this show standing frame, totally fine. Sprite animation is not equal to animation name. Set it to figure out which way they should be facing, because we do that here. That's fine. And then stop it and play to the standing frame index. Play animation. If it's equal to it and it's playing already, then return, otherwise play. This seems like a silly thing to do. No, I guess it's not. That way it doesn't start it again from the beginning. Get walk animation name. Left is left, right is right, up is up, and down is down. Yeah, sure. I think we can do this in a nicer way, right? Return facing switch. Why doesn't it populate this for me? I don't want to type this stuff out. And I lost it. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so Godot string names walk left animation. I think you use commas. Do you even use? God, I never remember this stuff. Yeah, curly braces and commas. Yeah. Oh. Oh, you can't do things this way because this isn't constant. Okay, that's fine. And then the last thing we have is a scene thing here. Cool. Okay, so this is more like setup, foundation for player character. You can walk around and it'll pick the correct animations. There is nothing in the world yet. All right, so next up, add in a world with a nav mesh. Set up a really basic scene, should be scrollable vertically. Let's load up Skeleseller here. So I want to go into the town here. Whoops, not like that. Don't save. All right, so we have the environment. This is its own entire scene. So this had a navigation area. And then the tile map that we have. And we'd later add in some other things. So I want some of this over here. Yeah, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. So environment, then we had nodes for everything else. Regions, yeah, shops, whatever. Okay, so fine. Yeah, let's go ahead and some tile map layers. And we had a map fill background. What was this for? It was this green that would show up, but why? If we turned it off, would we see that anywhere? I don't think so. I'm not certain why we had this. Yeah, because I don't see it causing any problems here. Why did we have this? There's no description for it. Huh, strange. This node is only used to fill the land with a single tile and to calculate the bounds. Don't draw terrain on this layer unless you have to define a filler sprite for some reason. Okay, I think we can get by without this for this game. We need these graphics though, and I don't know where these graphics are, if they're even in this game. They'd be in Worlds, Super Retro World. Free switches. Did I ever use these? Oh yeah, I did for the farming game. All right, so yeah, here's everything. Okay, so I'm gonna do this in the most basic way. So yeah, let's go add in an environment node, node 2D. Call this environment. And then add in a tile map layer with a sprite frame or tile set that is, what do we call it? Ground sprites. So cool. Now we have a bunch of tiles. Now, like I said, I'm doing this in the laziest possible way. We are just going to take like this cobble tile, this one, and just draw a big rectangle probably. Wait, where's the viewport? That's the viewport? Why is this huge? Yeah, wow. Okay, sure. That's fine. Yeah, so there should be different regions here. I don't know what we're going to do for that. Like I said, I'm going to be lazy and just kind of make something for this. So let's do that. And maybe I'll put some grass around this just to make it clear that this is supposed to be a little different eventually. So some grass. Yeah, cool. Something like that, like that. All right, now you are supposed to go off the bottom of the map at some point. So we got to make this go down a little bit. And then like the portal would be down here. And then that's it in terms of the bounds. So we'll also need a camera 2D. And this should be centered on the player at any given time. We'll call it camera, I guess. Assuming that's what I did for the other games. Farming game. Is it called camera? No, it's called camera 2D. Okay, fine. Call it camera 2D. What do I care? And then get the loot boxes player. And yeah, just like in the farming game, I think we just keep them perfectly in view. I don't think there's any reason to do things differently for this. And yeah, position smoothing, that's fine. All right, so set up. Oh, wait, didn't I do something else here? I added the environment. Yeah. All right, so just like in the farming game, make it so that the camera in lootboxes.tscn follows the player with position smoothing. This is just so fantastic that I can even do this. And then it uses probably hardly any of this. Oh, the quarter reset. Wow, that was a lot of time that passed quickly. I thought it was still... I commented when there was half an hour remaining on this. Apparently half an hour went by. That was fast. Anyway, yeah, so I have used none of my quota. We're at technically 100%, I think. And I can say this, and this is not going to do a ton. It's going to modify this script so that we fetch the camera from ready, we fetch the player from ready, and then in physics process or process here, we're going to set the camera position to the player. But still, like, how many lines of code would that be for me to type out? And now I don't have to type it. And it's dead simple stuff to verify, even just via code inspection. Yeah. And then I got to set the nav match. So this part's done. The world should be scrollable vertically. Yeah, we need to set some like limits. Make sure the camera, actually, should the camera be limited? Maybe it should seem like the world is bigger than it is. I don't know how I want to do that. Now, I think the world should have some boundary. Wait, yeah. Yeah. The world should have some walkability boundary that the player bumps into, but it goes a little bit wider than that. Okay, so hang on. I should change this a little bit. I should box the player in with unwalkable tiles, but still have the world render outside of that region. And then make sure the camera is not vertically centered. You should have to go pretty far down the screen to scroll it. But make sure it can scroll. Okay, so this should be done pretty soon. I'm actually kind of surprised this is taking as long as it is. Yeah, it's done pretty soon though. And it took what? Oh, actually more quota than I thought as well. Wow. Okay, so now it's done. Modified 21 lines of code. Should be pretty much, yep. So it got the player and the camera from ready. Set limit smooth to true. Limit smooth was actually already set in the scene, so I don't really think that's necessary. Limit smooth. Oh, it's not set through the scene. We don't actually have limit smoothing though. We don't have a limit, I mean. Probably need to set that up though. Position camera without smoothing. I added this myself, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, cool. So now if we try this, the camera will follow the player around. They'll always be perfectly centered in the screen, I believe. Yeah. Oh, I messed up the tiling. Oh, man. Funny. All right, yeah, it's coming together. So now I want to set a limit, I think. Wasn't there some way to do this with, oh, it's drag, not limit. All right, use to set initial vertical drag offset. Top margin, how does this work? Need to drag the camera. Value of 1 makes it move only when reaching the top edge of the screen. Yeah, so I want the bottom margin to be set pretty high, like 0.8. And then let's change the environment a little bit here. We'll get this tile. We'll paint bucket in the rest of these. And then we need some amount of like visual variance. I'm gonna just duplicate this whole thing and then wipe it all out. And then add in something, I don't know, flowers or pots or something, it doesn't matter. That way you just have an idea of like where this stuff is. So there's a pot, there's a mushroom, and there's a barrel. There. Okay, so now if I play this, that is not working how I would have thought. What did I do wrong? Oh, it's not even enabled. Okay. Yeah. So you can see it doesn't scroll the screen until you get really close to the bottom, and then it should start scrolling. Yeah. So this is to make it so that it's not obvious to you that you can just leave and go through the portal. So most of the gameplay is going to take place over here. And then as soon as you start walking upward, it should be pretty much immediate. I think we just have the top margin to, no, actually maybe we can't do that. What if I set this to 0.5? How would this work? No. Other way around. I want to set it to like 0.1. No, this is going to be a problem. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. Because if you do end up going downward, then to get the camera to be centered again means you'd have to go like way up to the top to fix it. No, not way up to the top. And most of the action then needs to take place in like this section of the screen. So we got to keep that in mind. So I think we put the treasure spirit like here, we put the treasure stands over here maybe, and then it's just rows and rows of items. And the portal would be down here at the bottom. All right, that's looking pretty good. So this part's done. This part's done. This about boxing in the player with unwalkable tiles I have not done yet. But let's do that afterward. So add camera to the scene. You have to move pretty far down the screen for the camera to scroll. Well, for the world to scroll. That way it's less obvious to you that you can leave the game so easily. In fact, what if we didn't tell you it was a portal you were getting? Hey Hector, do you still stream on Twitch or only YouTube at this point? No, I stream on Twitch as well. I'm streaming to both right now. And my wife was saying I should look into TikTok streaming, which I still don't use TikTok at all. And I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know if people watch others code there. Does anyone know anything about this? Because I feel like technically it's not probably that hard. I probably just add another target and now stream to TikTok too. But I think there are some concerns that would make it harder. One is if there's ever any kind of chat, I don't know how to interact with it. Two, I think they censor quite a lot on there. Like, I don't even know if you're supposed to say Twitch at all. I'm not doing TikTok dances. No, hey, unknown. Yeah, but like, are there viewers there? Is it worthwhile? Because I was just mentioning this earlier that I had someone mention recently that they were like following the development of Skeleseller on Blue Sky. And I've made very few posts. I have very few followers. So it made me think like, man, it probably is a good idea to start this stuff sooner rather than later so the game could be more successful, I hope. I'm usually in the K-pop, but this is also fine. They're basically the same. Didn't even know you could stream on TikTok. I'm pretty sure you can stream on TikTok. I just don't know if there are coding streams there. Would people care? I'm not trying to go viral or something. It's just another like, hey, if I can reach 20 more people and they know about the game, I think that could help. But yeah, who knows? All right, so the unwalkable tiles, I've checked this in. Let's give the player the right collision here. This is set to world. It should be set to player. That's good now. Hey, sedated. I don't see vertical video format working all that well for something you need to be able to read like code. Yeah, actually, that's something I hadn't considered, right? There is no widescreen streaming on TikTok. Interesting. Hey, Snow Goose. Do you have any tips on where and how to share a game to collect feedback? I think the where is just any platform that makes sense for what you're doing. So for example, if it's on like Nintendo Switch, then it's got to be on the eShop or something, right? But presumably you mean a computer game, in which case Itch and Steam I think are the most common ones I'd probably suggest. Itch is totally free. Steam has a $100 platform fee. But then yeah, there's things like Epic Games and GOG. I would just probably stick with Itch at first. And then for how to actually collect the feedback, then you have to like find players. I think I wouldn't go too far afield at first. I'd look at like friends and family at first, or any other like, I don't know, any communities you're in already. Beyond that, you need to start reaching out into other communities. You could look at places like Reddit or any maybe like farther afield Discord servers you're in, that sort of thing. I have the Steam page up, but it's where I have the public build. Oh, you can make branches on Steam. I have some notes on how you can do this. At least I think I made these. I might not have made these public. I'm not sure. Branch. Well, Steam has notes on this. Yeah, you can make branches on Steam and then just give the password to the people you want to have test it. On Itch, you can upload private builds, I'm pretty sure. I forgot how that works. Uploading paid content. Dash hidden. New channels are publicly visible. Here's the steps. You could, well, I guess you could just make a new itch page and only share the link to specific people. Yeah, that would work. Yeah. So if you want, make a like, your game dash private, and it should have a thing. Let me check it out. I have a notification on itch. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so here they have at the bottom restricted access. Only owners and authorized people can view the page. So yeah, I think if you set it to that and then just share it with certain people, it should be fine. So yeah, just rely on the platform for those sorts of things. And then barring all of that, you can always just upload it to your own web server somewhere or even host it from your own computer. There's a thing called File Party. You could probably use something like that. Hey, MRW. Good evening. All right, so unwalkable tiles. So we need this, and this is the ground layer for now. I guess I'll set a physics layer. Do I even want to do this right now? Hey, Myth. Actually, this doesn't really matter too much. It only kind of matters. But fine, let's say add element. So collision layer is like that. Oh, no, not like that, like that. And then we just need to set the collision of whatever this green tile is. So click that. There's the tile there. Go to tile set. Find that same tile. Click it. Go to select. Physics. And set this. Okay, cool. So now you should not be able to walk over the grass. Which, I mean, is a little bit weird. Yeah. Are you asking me, MRW? What am I building? Because I am building a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And I try to keep the today command up to date at any given time. This is the next sub game of Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. Okay, so it looked like this worked, except for I might need to move the character a little bit. No, I don't need to move them at all. Yeah, this is fine. So there's no way to go into like super speed mode here. But yeah, you can't leave this region now, which is nice. All right. Yeah. Okay, done. Well, we don't have the nav mesh yet. Set up the nav mesh. Yeah. Is this Godot or Unity? This is Godot, yeah. I've got the FAQ for the game in that command. So yeah, this talks a lot about what the game is and what I'm building it in. So yeah, please do take a look at that. When are you going to add the inventory system? You mean equipment? The skeleton seller? Okay, so add collision to the map. You can't walk on the grass now. This is just as a placeholder. This is so that we can still render some of the world outside of the walkable region. Yeah, thanks, MRW. Which we all know is vital to this game. I should make a game. Like, imagine making pre-sell or something. Whoops. But there's an equipment system. You equip swords and stuff, and it just doesn't do anything. It's probably not funny. I find it a little bit funny. All right, so now we want to add this for like treasure stands as an example, or item stands, any of this stuff where we have a nav mesh. I don't know where those graphics come from. But yeah, I want to kick this off. So let's go find it. Where do we find this? Is it Marketplace? Yeah, there it is. Although that's the only graphic we're going to need. We should probably just pull out that one graphic. But yeah, let's copy this over here for now. This is the Marketplace Atlas. I should probably just call it that. Marketplace. Whoops. Need to put another underscore. There we go. Check out my YouTube comment. Are you Hector? Because I did respond. Or are you talking about somebody else? And hey, font. Create an equipment system, but anything you equip makes you worse. Debuffs, that could give me a sub game. That's actually kind of fitting for the Vampire Survivors sub game where you're supposed to be worse and worse and worse. I didn't think about theming it through equipment. It wouldn't just have to be abilities. Or maybe we did talk about down. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. It could be that you equip items and the items make you worse. Maybe equipping them slows you down. Yeah. I did respond to you over there, yeah. I mean, now you have the answer, of course. But yeah, I do stream on Twitch still. Yeah. Referring to the other comment about mouseless. Oh, I don't see another comment here. I'm sorry if it seems like I was ignoring you. I literally don't see anything else on screen. And this is kind of annoying too, because if you have it set to top chat, it will just sometimes cut out chat messages, but live should never do that. So maybe it never got sent, or maybe there's some problem on my end in some way. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, you'll have to type it here. I just don't have it. What is the mouseless comment? I said the nav mesh, we should add something to the world so that we can test this. Well, actually, two things. We need an obstacle and we need an agent. I think AI is definitely going to change game dev. I mean, it's already changed it quite a lot for me. And I like the changes as a developer. It's like I have to spend less time doing this kind of garbage work, in my opinion. Like setting up, I don't know, the right collision layers and yeah, the refactoring I have to do, everything else. All right, so we need an obstacle. I guess let's go make a realistic obstacle here. Let's go make a static body 2D. So change type, static body 2D. We'll call this item display. And we'll give it a sprite, which for now is going to be an atlas texture into marketplace. And then we got to go find, isn't there some region editor? Yeah. I want it to be like thereabouts, which means 160, I believe. No, not 160. What is this? 16 by 16, right? 176? Yeah, 176. And then 32, 16, 16. Perfect. All right, so there's our sprite. Now we need a collision thing set here. Collision shape 2D. And then we need we probably need to set to the world. Collides with characters. Player. I mean, could you walk through customers? You probably could. Yeah. Collision shape should just be a rectangle. It was hard for me to find rectangle on the list. And there we go. Okay, so now we have our obstacle. I'm gonna snooze ads for a second here. Streamlining processes slops everything into one way of doing things. I don't agree with that. Or else people wouldn't have ever written tools even pre-AI. Typing again, just telling you that I've been rocking a corn keyboard and my layout is inspired by yours, almost one-to-one. I want to tell you about this mouseless app. Oh. I have seen that app. That's the thing where it shows a grid on the screen and you can very easily pick where you want to navigate. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not... This might be worth giving this a shot. But I feel like I don't have a problem with using the mouse. And actually, I even prefer the mouse for some things. Like, so my mouse, I think I've shown you this, but my mouse has 12 buttons on the side. So a lot of the very common things I do, like closing a window is a button click on here. Switching tabs, button click. Like navigating up and down in here, moving windows around. All of this stuff is already here so that I can just have this hand on the mouse and do all of this stuff pretty naturally. Like if I were just holding my hand like this and I was like, all right, let's move this over to the other screen. Or you know what, let's move the arrow key over here. Or this entire line, I should just delete this and delete this bullet point. It's like I have a keyboard on my right hand to begin with. Yeah, by the way, this is really concerning that I did not get that YouTube comment because I wonder if other people think I'm ignoring them or something. Yeah. Ultramark. That's crazy. I can barely manage 2 mouse buttons. So I'm about to switch mice to the Ultra. What's it called? No, not Ultra. SwiftPoint Z3. This hasn't released yet, but I pre-ordered this, and this does not have as many buttons. But this has pressure-sensitive buttons. So I'm kind of curious if that's better, worse. How do I feel about this? Where's the example they have? Yeah, here. So see this force thing? They can detect how much you're pressing a key down, and then you can have it do a certain thing based on how much you pressed it down. So like a hard press could be double click, and a soft press could be single click. Or a hard press could be close a window or something. Or, you know, shut down your game that you're playing because you're mad at it. You can draw with this thing. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you posting on Reddit a couple times because I remember searching. I wasn't searching for your post, but I was searching for my name. And yeah, you had commented that like, oh, you should check out this guy's keyword layout. Yeah, I hope it helped other people too. I'm glad it helped you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this thing out. I hope it is. I hope it's nice because it wasn't cheap. And the whole reason I even looked into a mouse like this in the first place is because this mouse was discontinued. If this hadn't been discontinued, I would have just bought this for the rest of my life probably. And there was some other mouse that was kind of a close second to this. I don't remember what it was. Oh yeah, that's right. The MMO7. Cyborg re-released this, or not Cyborg, Mad Catz re-released this. Yeah. I can't believe it. It was like a 15-year gap or something. I used this a long time ago, and I like this. I thought this was pretty good. Their website's terrible, as you can tell by it loading so slowly. But yeah, it's had a little joystick on the side, a thumb button there, some buttons over here. It had this wheel that you could spin, which I used for home and end. It had a few face buttons. This is actually a pretty nice mouse. And this is a pretty reasonable price too, I think. I don't remember how much it is. But I think it's like 80 or 100 or something. Whereas, oh no, it's 150. Never mind. That's not that reasonable. Okay, never mind. Well, it beats $200. A pressure sensitive keyboard once, couldn't get rid of it fast enough. I think it's so I guess it all depends on how you configure it. So pressure sensitivity for anything, like can you accurately press something into 5 different degrees of pressure, like a mouse button? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But you can probably accurately do 0 to 99% and 100%. If you just bucketize it into those 2 categories, that's probably pretty easy to do. Now, I don't know what 100% feels like on that mouse. Is that more force than I press now? Is it not? Am I just pressing it all the way in? So these are the things I got to test out. But if you could get it to 3 levels, like maybe you could do 0 to 33% and 33 to 66 and 66 to 99 or 100, I mean. And obviously you'd have the boundaries separated, so something like that. But like, is that reasonable, or is it more like it should be 0 to 20 and then 20 to 80 and 80 to 100? So I have no idea what the answers to these questions would be and what you'd even want to bind these to and how reliable it would be. But yeah, it could be interesting to mess around with. Hey, Muro. The mouse looks like I'd be clicking a bunch of random things accidentally. Yeah, that could happen. And actually, this happens while I'm playing a first-person shooter. I have a jump button set to this, but sometimes it's not quite a spasm, but it's just a random press of some button here. And I don't mean to press anything. It's not like I misclicked. It's that nothing was supposed to be clicked. So just the sake of clicking is a misclick almost. So yeah, it does take some getting used to. Okay, so we have the obstacle. I need to go add the obstacle in. Let's go put this in because I want to kick this off where I took my next break. Where are we putting this? Scenes, sub games, loot boxes. All right, we call this item display. Then we go add an item display in here. So let's just put 1 or 2 in. Node 2D item displays instantiated in a loop. No, what am I doing? An item display. All right, so if we just play the game now, you should not be able to walk into this thing. We need Y sorting. I got to do that. All right, take care, font. Yeah, glad to hear the layout's been helping you. All right, cool. So yeah, we can't collide to this thing. We got to change our collision. So I'll do that stuff next. Well, after this. Fix player collision and Y sorting. All right, but I want to add in a customer and have them walk around randomly. Yeah, I'm going to tell this thing to do it while I'm on my break. Make customer.tscn. It should be a character body 2D. Actually, does it even need to be? How did we do this for monsters? It is, oh, it's a character body 2D. Yeah, sure. Okay. It should be a character body 2D with a navigation agent, which I think is also a navigation agent 2D. Yes, it is. Sort of like monster.tscn. Add one to lootbox. Add an instance of this new customer scene to this. Add a customer.cs script to the new scene that controls its behavior. For now, it should just find a random point within the walkable area of the environment. This means that we'll need a nav mesh setup that gets rebaked. If possible, reuse code with the existing nav mesh setup. This is Rider, but I also use VS Code still. So they both look pretty similar because they have the same color theme now. But yeah, I switched mostly to Rider. And then this is Codex, which I'm just using to have it set up some of the scene. Did we do anything else here? I guess I just added a very basic loot or item display thing. Yeah. Add item display. This is just an obstacle for now so that navigation agents have something to avoid. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the theme is there. All right, so customer.tscn and attach a new script, customer.cs. The scene should be a character body 2D with a navigation agent 2D, sort of like this. When created, it should pick a random customer's sprite frames using lootbox character sprite. The sprite frames should be cached since all customers can use the same ones. Add an instance of the new customer scene. For now, I should just, for now, the customer's logic should be that it finds a random point within the walkable area in the environment and navigates to it. Making sure to pick the correct walking animation depending on the direction traveled. We'll need a nav mesh setup that gets rebaked as the scene changes. I plan to add item display instances on the fly later. If possible, where possible, where possible and appropriate, try to cut down on code duplication surrounding the nav mesh. Queuing rebakes. Okay, looks pretty good. What are we at in terms of usage? Because I got to take my break. We are at 9270. 70% before the plan for the nav mesh stuff. I'm just kind of curious about usage here. I think it's always been pretty generous. All right, I'm gonna go take my break. I'll be back. Oh, we already started that. Okay, yeah, I'll just take my break. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again. Close the game. Okay, cool. Nice. This is still working, which means that the break was fully utilized time. All right, so yeah, we need an obstacle, we need an agent, which means the customer scene should be set up. Nothing like churning through a to-do list, huh? You know, because we're reusing a lot of animations and just general code from Skeleseller, this game may not take as long and it might look polished a little bit sooner. But I think there are still going to be some slightly difficult things. Like when we get to the upgrades, I want a shader on the upgrade buttons that makes them obvious, makes them look obviously pressed. They never really looked like buttons in Skeleseller. I don't think so. All right, what do we have here? Add customer, uses cache random customer sprite frames, wanders around the loot box's walkable area, and navigates around current and future items display obstacles. Reusable tile map backed navigation region script so loot boxes can share this cute rebake behavior. Cool. Add reusable tile map navigation region 2D that owns the outline setup, deferred cube rebake again after current rebake. Make the top-down shooter navigation mesh, inherit this. Add customer. Add this. Why does it have... Oh, I see. It's static. Sure. Random customer type selection, navigation, walk down animations. Yep. Standing frame 1 stopped. Yeah, sure, I guess. And this and this and a small movement. Yep, sounds good. Loot boxes, scene wiring, add a navigation mesh. Sounds fine. That's fine. Yep, this is the important part. Add this to the Polygon source group. Yep. Existing customers with a nav region expose a small queue rebake. Yeah, sounds good. Wow, this has been great. Random point inside the floor bounds. Destination release. Stop briefly. Pick another point. Use 40F. Yeah. Cool. All right. Wow, that's really quite wonderful. All right, 87% and 69%. Let's go write that down. All right, so this is going to take some time. I don't want to work alongside this necessarily. Any thoughts on the Steam machine? It looks really good. A 1050 is a pretty high price for it, I think. Like, there's some price that would probably convince me to buy it, even though I don't really need it. And that price is probably like $500. So it's more than double that. Yeah. So I think the price is the only thing that's kind of a shame, but it looks pretty nice. Yeah, and 1050 is the starting version. Does this have more RAM at all? It doesn't. Wait, what is that? Oh, neat. This is $1,400. Man, I just don't know about this. Like, I guess you're comparing this against a gaming PC, but I don't think these are like ultra amazing specs that'll let you play any game in like high resolution. Yeah, I don't know about that. When you're gaming, do you use the core? No, I use just a keyboard I got with my gaming computer from Costco. I guess RAM prices are brilliant. Yeah, RAM prices and maybe storage prices to some extent, but I think it's mostly RAM prices. The fact that it's only a 6-inch cube is insane. Yeah, I guess I need... I have a cube on my desk, one of these things. I don't know how many of you have seen this kind of puzzle that exists here. But anyway, this is when it's collapsed. Maybe like 3 inches. So I guess it's like double that. Yeah, I mean, that is pretty small. With that said, I don't think the size of a console matters too much unless you have it attached to your TV all the time, in which case it needs to fit inside of your TV console or around it or underneath it. So yeah, it is nice to have it be small, but like, isn't an Xbox or whatever the newest PlayStation is, aren't those huge? Like the Switch isn't too bad, but I remember borrowing my friend's PlayStation to play Final Fantasy and it was pretty big. Comes with faceplates. I mean, those faceplates do look pretty nice. Red fabric. I'd probably put that one on. Can't tell this. Now, is it worth, $1,000? No, I don't think so. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. I think the controller was more reasonably priced, right? Isn't this 100? Yeah, this is 100. This seems like a better deal. Oh, what? 2027. What? Seriously? Have they shipped any of these? I didn't know that. Learn more. Oh, I see. So the earliest one people will get is still 3 months from now? Sold out big time. Is there a need for this if you already have a gaming PC? I don't think so, no. Unless you want the portability of being able to attach this to like your TV or a friend's TV or something. So this is more portable. With that said, it doesn't have a screen, so it's not going to replace like a laptop or something. The earliest ones are already shipped. Yeah, so anyway, the Steam controller I would probably buy. I did not realize it was that delayed in getting a new order shipped out. But yeah, I use the Switch Pro controller, and I'm only using this one because the Pro 2 can't seemingly work on my Mac. And I like it. It's a comfortable enough controller, but like the sticks don't work all that well. It's seen better days. Flawless and doesn't cause any bugs at all. I mean, it is pretty usable as a controller. I have these other Logitech dual stick controllers that do not really work anymore. I just, they're not like modern enough or something. I don't totally know. Yeah, like something that looks like this. Like it looks like it's got everything you need. The sticks feel really bad. The Yeah, it's just never really worked all that well. How are you doing on this, by the way? Still working through. Yeah. Now the game I'm working on right now should work pretty well on the Steam Deck. I haven't actually tried it yet. And one of the things you need for Steam Deck certification is to use button glyphs inside your game. So like Skeleseller, I think has it says playable. But in order to get the certified thing, it's got to show actual Steam Deck controller icon. I just never did that. I didn't think it was worthwhile for Skeleseller. Oh, nice. A GPU. Out of curiosity, how much is it? Because, yeah, GPUs are not cheap. I heard talk of a Windows machine that some company was going to make. I forgot which. That was going to be a shared VRAM and regular RAM chip, like how Apple does their computers. I think that could be a game changer. Because, yeah, I think, originally Apple was kind of mocked for like, well, you're paying triple the amount for the hardware and the hardware's not that great. Well, the hardware actually is pretty good. You're still paying a premium, especially if you got like the highest storage. They charge a crazy amount for storage. It was NVIDIA. Okay. Yeah. Windows PC with ARM. I think that's what it was supposed to be. So, yeah. Apple prices will go up soon. They probably will. I imagine whatever supply chain, like RAM issues, are going to impact them too. Yeah. I don't think anyone will be immune from it. And I don't know when it'll end. Like, and when it does end, will the prices even drop? I guess if there's enough competition, there will be incentive for them to drop it. This is one of those unfortunate things where I don't have a deep understanding of how RAM is fabricated, but it's apparently an insanely expensive process. And even just spinning up a new factory to produce RAM is prohibitively expensive. So it's not like, if you were selling, this is a dumb example, but if you were selling ice cream and all of a sudden some new flavor came out and everyone's like, oh my God, I got to have more of that. It doesn't take that long to spin up like a new ice cream shop or a new flavor, or like distribute this, right? You'd have new ice cream shops in like a month or 2 months or something selling this. But it doesn't work that way with RAM. Only a few players left. $460. Okay. Yeah. Is it purely for gaming or are you going to do any AI stuff on it? ARM Windows PC does exactly what Apple does, unified. Don't think ARM version of Windows will be good unless they have something like Apple's Rosetta for that. They've had Windows on ARM since I worked at Microsoft. And back then it was still new. And I had a Windows RT tablet. That thing was terrible. It was so bad because it couldn't really run any apps. But at least they laid the foundation for Windows booting on this thing. Yeah. Gaming mainly. Don't really play anything crazy. Yeah, I made a tiny bit of a mistake when I bought my computer. I don't think I have the specs anywhere easily accessible, but I just got a pre-built machine from Costco that was like reasonably priced. I think it was like $1,100 or something. I don't remember exactly what, which for gaming is, yeah, like mid-range. But I think I should have gone for something a little bit higher end. I just always felt like, oh, I don't really care about this. Like I do spend a decent amount of time gaming, and even if I don't care about the looks, I care about the speed. First pass is wired, running the repos, normal build now. Yeah, I'm just not even really doing anything right now. I'm basically just waiting for AI, which I feel kind of silly. That's why I'm talking so much. 1100 is one high-end GPU these days. Yeah, well, some of the cards get really expensive, but also RAM prices are nuts. So if you just got those two components, a nice GPU and nice RAM, you'd probably pay 2,000 on average. Still pretty new. OS works somewhat fine, but when you think Windows, you think you can just install software from 98? I guess I don't know how much backwards compatibility matters to most people nowadays. Like when I used Windows last, I used VS Code, which I imagine would be totally fine on ARM. I used Chrome. Again, I imagine that would be totally fine. I used a terminal emulator, console emulator. And yeah, that would probably be fine too. Pretty much any dev tools. And then whatever games I would play. If the games don't work, I think there'd be an issue. A lot of software for 98 will absolutely not work fine. Yeah, but a lot of times you can still get it to run at least. And for some people that matters. I think for most people though, it probably doesn't really anymore. And this is why I was saying switching from Windows to Mac, like if you just look at these programs that I have in this toolbar down here, it's like, okay, Finder, yes, is not on Windows, but Chrome is on Windows, VS Code is on Windows, Obsidian is on Windows, iTerm is not, but there's an equivalent. Discord is, OBS is, Affinity probably is, Rider definitely is, Codex has to be, and Godot has to be. So most programs are, I feel like, easier to publish to different platforms now, probably easier to rebuild for different architectures. Finder's terrible. I don't really like Finder, but I don't interact with it too much. Yeah, there are definitely some issues I'd love to have improved. All right, so this is kind of interesting how Godot does this, at least through Codex. Sorry, how Codex does this for Godot is it'll produce a GDScript file that it runs from a private directory that it can use to figure out whether it did things correctly. It's kind of a neat way of validating. Invested too much time from Windows for it to be worth it. Yeah, my main motivator was somewhat superficial in that I wanted a quieter computer. If I stop talking right now, I hear some like very light buzzing sound from something. Yeah, I think there's a fan spinning still somewhere, but it's not too bad. But if my Windows machine were on back when I was developing in the day, like you hear it. I just didn't like that. I didn't like the power consumption. Nothing beats the hardware than new M chips. Yeah. This computer will probably still feel pretty fast for another 2-3 years. Then it'll still be usable for another probably 5 years, and then something will probably break on it. All right, this should be almost done. Does it say how long this took? Yeah, it's been like 12 minutes. Okay, implemented. So let's just go try things out and see what happens. I am curious about this. Time commitment kind of nullifies the increased efficiency. I think increased efficiency has somewhat more subtle goals, which is to, in the moment, stop you from having to think about something else. This character just randomly walking in the upper left makes me think that they're trying to get to a position that's out of bounds. What we could do is we could set paths to be visible. So if I go to customer and we go to their navigation agent, there's some debug. If true, shows debug visuals. Yeah, set this to true and then set the debug color to pink or magenta or something. Yeah, magenta. Okay, now we try running this because I want to see what's going on here. Collision shapes, paths, navigation. I don't think we need avoidance. Yeah, so they're trying to go to 0, 0, which is kind of funny that they're trying to go there both times. Huh, interesting. They do have this around here though, which is nice. All right, well, let's go find out why it's trying to find that as a position. Some government apps I use daily do depend on stuff last updated 10 years ago. Yeah. My only point, just to be clear, was I don't think most people are in that scenario where they need to use old software. And there's got to be like an average age of software used by a person today. And I imagine it's like probably pretty new. The average age, I mean, it's probably pretty young. All right, what are we doing here? We're trying to find out how it computed its first position. Move toward next path position. I want pick new target. Get random point on navigation map. As floor global bounds. Okay, so floor global bounds is defined from what? Get floor, the floor layer. It's a tile map layer. So this must be of the ground. And the ground means that we could pick a position that's, yeah, out of bounds here. So I should probably make some like nav boundary, I guess. And just not have it be built on this. Okay, sure. Yeah, sure. So that tile can be deleted. It's already gone. All right, tile map layer. I think this is a bit of a mistake. Well, we're just gonna have to change this in the future. I don't know why I even did this. I should have just duplicated this. In fact, I should just not save this at all. Did that work? No, it did not. Okay, well, whatever. All right, so we gotta find some nav tile. I don't have nav tiles in here. Let's just put some like stone column. Any individual thing that just blocks you skulls. I don't know. It's gonna look really stupid. Nah. Oh wait, there are nav tiles. Whoa. What are you doing? All right, nice. So we put this like here and here. All right, now we go to the tile set and change physics like that. I think that might work. Wonder why they always go to 0, 0 though. So yeah, you can't step outside the nav boundaries. And this character is going to walk around forever. So as the time scale to 8, we'll see this. Pretty good, but I want to see them try to move around the item display, which is probably going to be like a 1 out of 50 chance or something. No, probably even worse than that. Yeah, so we should just add another like 100 customers. Are they moving correctly? Yeah, they are. Very neat. Yeah, too bad I can't come over here. All right, 100 customers. What's that, nav tile? Yeah, it's for navigation. This was our way of having a visual for the editor of you can't walk on this tile that at runtime we would delete. Now, in this particular game, we're not deleting at runtime, but we should be doing that eventually. So yeah, how does get new point always return the same thing? Random point. This can't be a coincidence, right? No, it definitely can't be a coincidence. There's some reason why it's picking 0, 0 every time. Just put a breakpoint here. Maybe the size hasn't been computed yet. No, it has. The position? No, it has. Okay. So what is random point? It's 32, 100. So get closest map point must be returning 0, 0 for that? It is, yeah. So this probably has not been done correctly then. Yeah. Because of how we rebake this. So where is this getting called from then? Physics, process, pick new target. Yeah, I think I know how we have to fix this. All right, let's go take a look. Where do we make the customer? Init existing customers? Oh, we added it directly in the scene? And initting it does this? Okay, so we want to do this after a frame, I guess. Call deferred, no. How do you do this? Callable dot from. Yeah, like that. Will that fix this? And then I want to instantiate like 100 of these customers. We might need to defer by another frame. So what did this return? Still 0, 0. Yeah, that's a problem. I wonder when this gets set. Init must be called before requesting random navigation points. This still doesn't actually work there though. Like something else needs to be done here. Yeah. Where does the first nav mesh baking happen? Here. Here. I'm debating on how I want to do this. Because we need to wait for that rebake to finish, and we don't have any signal on here saying that it's finished, right? I guess we could add one. Okay, let's do that. Init existing customers. So like navigation mesh dot rebake fin. No, wait, we don't have that. Oh, because this needs to be sent back upward. Wait, does that make sense? If this is a navigation region 2D, shouldn't we have bake finished? Oh, it's called bake finished, not rebake finished. I'm being dumb. Okay. Nav mesh bake finished. All right, so we just want to find out if it's the first one. Bool has initialized customers equals false. And then do this here. So if not has initialized customers, set this to true, initialize them. And there we go. All right, so now I don't think they should find the 0, 0 position every single time. Nice. That fixed that. It does mean there's some portion of time where customers are totally idle while it's still baking. So now what we need to do is make 1,000,000 customers, which we could do by just instantiating in a bunch of these. So yeah, let's go do that. Oh wait, there's a nice way of doing this now, right? How do you do this? There's a brush view. I don't remember how you do that. You got to select it in here, don't you? I don't remember how you do this. I just tried it the other day and I'm like, oh, that's neat. Oh, you have to press B for this to show up? There's no UI before then? That's weird. Yeah, cool. So now we can paint in a bunch of other customers. So I'm going to put a bunch of these over here. In fact, we can just draw them like that. And I accidentally put all those underneath the first customer. Whoops. Yeah, whoops. They're not really avoiding it correctly. Yeah, we should probably just add in some more item displays too. All right, let me put one there and there and there. Yeah, I want this to look pretty smooth. We had it working smoothly in Skeleseller, so I think we can get it working here eventually too. But yeah, you can see the problem. They're getting like stuck on these things. And then they're getting stuck up here too. Are they colliding with each other? No, 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 no. No, no, no. You don't collide with each other. They're considered player. They shouldn't be. Game specific, enemy. I mean, I guess we call them enemy for now. But yeah, all they're colliding with is world. What am I missing? Navigation layer here, avoidance layer. Fit field determining which navigation layers of navigation regions this agent will use to calculate a path. Change during runtime. Yep, sure. And avoidance layers. Oh, it's trying to avoid the player. Where is world here? No, it wasn't trying to avoid the player. It's trying to avoid the... Oh, wait. This is different from... This is different from physics layers? I don't think I realized that. Yes, it is different. Hey, Mr. Halsey, long time no see. How you doing? All right, I'm not totally sure how I should be setting this up. But it does look like customers are colliding with each other. Yes, it definitely looks like that, or else they'd all be stacked on top of each other, right? So the one that's here is trying to leave but can't, and the ones that are all outside are trying to get into there and they can't. I don't care if they stack on top of each other or not, though. Yeah, I've been working on this new game, Mr. Halsey. Let me see when you were last here. They're trying to go into timeout, yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. Long enough ago that you hadn't seen this game, so I'll give you a little demo. But I hope your health issues are better from back then, which I admittedly did not remember until checking the chat history. So we're working on a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And if I go to the title screen here and do this and this and this and this. So yeah, it's been almost 3 months. I have not spent a lot of time on the title screen. So ignore the recolor testing on the side over here. But yeah, this is the start of the game. You're in a tutorial for a platformer. And you're learning some basic actions. And then you get over here, it says try to collect the diamonds in one go. And you experience your first encounter with the brokenness of this game. So yeah, you're going to be jumping from different kind of broken experiences, trying to find out what's going on in this world. A lot of plans for this. It's going to take a couple years to make. But dev's been going pretty well so far. Actually, this probably works on the screen. No, I can't see it anymore. So now you're in a farming game. And you can plant stuff and you can dig up your farm, water things. Yeah, so there's a lot of like little goofy things in this game. And you'll go from game to game trying to figure out how to leave the current game you're in. The game after this is something we started working on 2 weeks ago. And there's still a lot of work we have to do on this one. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Can't die. But yeah, you work your way through this. There's some different rooms in this dungeon. You get power-ups. Kill a bunch of monsters. Why did that guy walk in such a weird way? That seems strange. Hold on a second. Why did that thing walk weirdly? Now it walked just fine. Hold on. Hold on. Huh, yeah. It walked up. Is it trying to avoid something over here? It is. Yeah. Well, that's not good. Well, they did eventually make it to me. All right, we got to write that down as a bug to fix. Bug, monsters in room 2 are trying to avoid something from the starter room. Room after the starter room. You start opening loot boxes. Yeah, a graphical glow up for the newer ones is still gonna happen, but like the first 2 are pretty much done. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about the player color customization, which is why that thing was still in there. Here. And for those who haven't seen this, I have a special tool for showing all this stuff off. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, so here's the sprite colorization tool. You will be able to customize your colors across all the different games. So like you can pick, I think it's 5 different colors here. Yeah. So your clothing, your eye color, your skin color, and your hair color. And yeah, then it'll change every single graphic in the game, which we haven't done yet. But yeah, super cool. So I think this is going to add a lot. Technically AI assisted art, AI assisted coloring, maybe, but even then, it's like very minorly so. And I really like the bright color of the hair. You can't actually get a very bright color. Like this is the brightest you can get on the shirt, and it's only in this section. So if you switch to a darker color, it looks black pretty quickly. So we'll probably come up with like a predetermined palette people can choose from here. With that said, I do think you should be able to pick black for almost any of these. So like if you have a black hair, black shirt, like this is probably fine, but yeah, there's no shading on the shirt anymore. Maybe we need to make that like a more like that, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, you can start to see some like pixel glitches in here with the blue here. Looks like you're using old school colorize. Well, this is a shader that's set up there's actually a decent amount of complexity for this. So it's not too bad, but there's a base image and then there is a recolor mask. And the way we did this is we split it into each color for like the parts you see here. So pink for eyes, red for hair. And then the darkness of that particular color is how much of the palette versus the base color to use. So the reason you're seeing this like highlight show up on the hair here, where it's showing up kind of white, is because I just scribbled in some dark red in the mask. So if we made this lighter red or darker red, it's like it'll use more or less of a particular color. Hey Zoe, speaking of AI, did you all see the deep fake video call scams? No. Can you link them? Either here or on Discord? All right, so where did we leave off? Oh yeah, customers were colliding with each other. So the thing I don't understand about why they'd be colliding with each other is their layer shouldn't be set to consider themselves. If I just set this to 1, I think no, something's still causing them to consider this. It might be the navigation agent. But what would it be? How would it be doing this? Oh, because it's avoiding layer 1? What if we just turn that off? Ah, that fixes it. Okay, yeah, that's more like what I want. Now you can see them still getting stuck around crates. That is very likely due to their collision shapes. Yes. So I think I need to just give them a single point. That's what we did for Skeleseller at least. So we set this to, yeah, circle of radius like 1 and a position of 0. And then try that. Health issues are much better. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Oh yeah, you can always paste it here, Zoe. That's fine. So they are still getting maybe a little bit stuck. You see any like total weirdness going on here? They stop every once in a while, so it's hard to tell. And that character's just off in the middle of nowhere, never moving again. I don't know how that happened. Unless I painted them there to begin with, did I? No. How did you get up there? That's strange. Let's go back into... No. Someone is starting up there. How are they start? Oh, they must be the customer who gets created through the code. No one gets created through the code. Oh, no, there is a customer there. Whoops. Okay, my bad. Oh, someone posted a comparison? That's great. Okay, so it's a little bigger than a GameCube. GameCube is a really sleek machine. All right, so yeah, any oddities here? No, I think it's looking pretty good. Well, we need Y sorting on. Wow, very neat. Very, very neat. This is going to be a cool game to bring to life. Now, for those who didn't hear, so the way this game is going to work is you are going to be somewhere up here, like buying treasure chests, and then they'll go on to some treasure stands, which you don't have yet, and you'll open them. There'll be a very small mini game for that. So the mini game looks kind of like this. It's the worst graphic to show. Let me pull this out. All right, there we go. So imagine meters underneath each of these. And when they're filled up, you want to open up the treasure chest. And when they're not filled up, that means you're going to get less loot from it. So the lower tier treasure chests will be filled up most of the time. It'll be pretty easy to nail like 100%. But then the higher tier ones, it'll be like whoop, 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 and you'll have to stop it at the right time. And then the loot will go to these item displays, which will probably be toward the bottom. And then customers will come and buy that loot. And if you want, you can change the price of the loot. And you're not supposed to engage with any of this. You're supposed to walk off the screen and walk into the portal and leave the game. And that's it. And this is going to take like 2 weeks to make. Definitely get a GameCube themed skin. Actually, yeah, that's something interesting because even in that picture that you linked there, you can see the yellowing of the memory card slots. And I guess if you got a skin, it doesn't necessarily have to yellow because they could make it out of a non-plastic material, right? All right, so I want to check this in, which means I need to review this first. Has initialized customers. Yeah, this is so that we only do this once. Once the nav mesh has been baked. This is to prevent customers from trying to use the nav mesh before it's been baked. Well, this is only part of what we're doing here. Yeah. All right, anyway, that stuff's fine. That's all fine. This is good because it should cause a rebake of the tree. There's an exit tree here. We should then remove this stuff from. I don't think this is needed. This is for the whole game, right? Yeah, I can just delete that. All right, that looks good. Actually, this is where this comment should go. So just delete this and put this over there. Cool. Register existing item displays. What is this? Redundant of type. Consider comparing with null instead. Oh, because it's only ever a node. And we want this to be an item display. But we don't have an item display thing yet. What does register even do? Add to group navigation source group. This should not be done here. This should be done in item display itself, which it seems like it already was. So I'm not actually totally sure why. Oh, that's strange. There are ways to clean the aged yellowing if you spend the time. Retro brightening? Really? This is some chemical based thing, right? Hydrogen peroxide based. Wow, yeah. It still doesn't look great. Wow. Dreamcast. Holy cow. 16 megabytes of RAM. That costs $1,000 nowadays. 2 megabytes of audio RAM. That'll run you $200 nowadays. I never had a Dreamcast, but I liked the ideas behind it. It's back before everything had been kind of standardized too, right? Like the Dreamcast controller looked a little bit boxy and weird. Yeah. And this isn't too far from, I think, what we ended up with in terms of like where buttons are, at least one of the control sticks and the D-pad. Like that's kind of close to what we have nowadays, but there was no other stick here, and then there was a giant thing for the VMUs that they had. 640 kilobytes is enough, yeah. Believe in Bill Gates. Did it on an older knitting machine from the 80s. It can get brighter with more time and the light and solution. Yeah, it's the spottiness of that Wikipedia picture that looked a little strange. Okay, where do we leave off with this? So yeah, this register item display, is this really needed? It's not a problem to do this. Yeah, it's not a problem to do this. This has to exist somewhere else, right? It exists in 2 locations. Base room has it too. I want this in the nav mesh. What is it even called? Nav region. Okay. I want it in here. Navigation polygon. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I want it in there. Let's go move it. Sent in Discord. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check it out later. And thank you, Zoe. Where did that go? Here it is. Okay, so this should be moved to tile map nav region. Should be made public. And then everything else that we use this for should be deleted. Navigation, polygon. So yeah, leave this as nodes, I guess, for now. I still don't know if I even want to use that. And this should be deleted. All right, so we try building. There should be 2 errors, I believe. And we'll just go fix them both. This is tile nav region. How is there no error for base room? We just never used this? Oh no, it still exists. What does that do in there? I can't delete this? What? The code is fighting me? I've never seen that before. Is this AGI? I'm just going to restart the ID. I've truly never seen that. I can't delete the line. Imagine I'm like, oh, that's weird. There's like a metallic knocking at the door now, but no one's home. Huh. I hear what sounds like a buzzsaw spinning up.
Whoops. Whoops.
Yeah, what is going on here? I can't delete this. All right, now I can. Command X wasn't working. That was weird. All right, so tile nav region. Oh, what? Now it just refuses to autocomplete for me? Can't let you do that, Adam. Can't let you diff your code. Oh, that's automatically getting added in. Yeah, it's all looking good. Just a glitch in the system. Just a wee glitch. All right, so coming back over to here, we have on item display entered tree, register item display, which calls into this. Does register get called anywhere else? No. Oh, wait, yes, it does right there. Take the existing ones and register them. I think this is fine. As long as we only ever instantiate these things, I don't think we need to do this part. And remove from group. When it exits the tree. Like, this never even happens. All right, I'm going to delete that. I'll delete this, and I'll delete this. And we should just rework this logic to register Actually, not even on enter. What do I even care? Yeah, what do I care about this? It's when it gets added, I guess. Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do that. So this doesn't even need to be registered anymore. Register existing item displays. We just rebake the navigation mesh, so this isn't even needed. Yeah. I wonder how hard it would be to review AI code if you've never reviewed human code before. Because I at least have a mental model for how I go through this stuff. So it doesn't matter who's writing it. It just matters, like, does it make sense in the code base? This limit smooth. This is from an old commit, but still. If true, camera smoothly stops when it reaches its limits. Yeah, that's fine. It can be done on the camera itself, though. Put that over here. Limit smooth. I don't even think that matters. Yeah, I don't think this matters at all. We never hit the limits like that. All right, everything else looking good? Yep. Yo, no, not this. All right, now I think we're fine. Yeah, this can just be a queue rebake. So this function isn't needed. It's not used. All right, let's try this out. I reviewed this code. I think this is pretty reasonable. Yep, they avoiding everything well enough. Yep, yeah, nice, looks good. So I just speed this up. Yeah. Wow. Very neat. Poha. How do you recommend someone gets to get a split keyboard like yours? So I think there are a couple different routes. One is either building it yourself or like from a kit or something. You could always source the parts yourself, or getting a pre-built one. I think this only comes down to really two factors, which is your time and maybe your expertise, if you want to consider that too, and money. So pre-built is going to save you time and cost you money, and building it yourself is going to require your time and a little bit of expertise. You got to solder things. So yeah, that's in terms of getting it. Then in terms of what to get, I think you should think of, like, what do you think you'll need? So number of keys, any extra features like wireless or an encoder or something like that. And yeah, I guess what can you afford? This kind of goes without saying. And ideally try to like emulate the keyboard you'll get before you get it. So there are like software ways of doing layering. You could like pry keycaps off of your current keyboard. I had a Moonlander at one point, and I pried off a bunch of the keys on the outside before I got the corn. So I'm like, what would it be like if I just didn't have these? I just literally can't press them. So there were no switches in them. You just press like the circuit board pretty much. And yeah, that was a pretty good way of testing it. So if you all you have is like a regular computer keyboard, all you have is something like this, you can still pry keys off of it if you want to. But then in order to simulate having a split keyboard with layers and everything, you need some sort of software. Something called K-Monad, I think, that can do this. Yeah. This is probably what I'd download. I haven't tried this myself. Yeah, this is a way of testing layers and combos and everything else. I think they have combos. Well, they don't have combos. At least they don't call them combos. Oh yeah, Kanata. Yeah. And then after that, it is just a matter of using the keyboard. And it is a decent learning curve for coding, but I think it's pretty simple for typing. Also, in terms of keyboards, like I said, the what to get, there's something called the K-Frequency. This is this keyboard, which looks pretty much identical to a regular keyboard when it's together. So if you were to put these two halves exactly aligned, you wouldn't even be able to tell it's not a regular keyboard. But obviously it's got the split in the middle, and you can just separate the parts as much as you want. Use it full time, Soldier Corn. Oh, cool. Yeah, I like the corn. I haven't really met a lot of people who use this full time. Does it work on Mac? Yeah. And does it have combos? Let's see configuration guide. Yeah, they have combos, it looks like. And they must have layers. I don't think you can make something like this without layers. Yeah. Did I build mine? I did build mine, yeah. I have my whole setup for that somewhere. Where was it? GitHub. Yeah, here. Yeah, so I got the PCB manufacturer fabricated, not really manufactured. So I got this, and then I soldered everything. I sourced the parts from all over the place. This is just some random pictures. These aren't even mine. But then yeah, I made the keyboard that I have. Unfortunately, I did a bad job soldering it. So now only the LEDs work on the left half of the keyboard. They don't work on the right half. I wonder if I'll ever get another keyboard. I mean, if this breaks, I would, obviously. But like, I wonder if I would get one before then. I like this quite a lot. You know, like LEDs anyway. Oh man, I love LEDs. Especially, I really, really like this trail effect. Like when you're typing, as I type, it lights up those keys. I just think it looks so cool. Add some visual interest to the stream as well. Yeah, let me see what that looks like when I zoom in. Just zoomed in. Yeah. You see it lighting up a bunch of different keys when I enter different layers. Yeah. I'll turn that off though. Home row mods. I don't use home row mods exactly. I use one-shot mods, and they happen to be on the home row, but in layers. So if I light this up here, you can see like this key that I'm pointing at is the shift indicator. So I've just pressed shift. Now when I type O, for example, it typed a shift O, but now the next O is not shifted. So yeah, I have one-shot modifiers, and most of them are in this layer. So I can light them all up, and now I have the hyper key selected, and I can press like, I don't know, V. That wasn't even V. That was V. Well, hey, Ardos, welcome in. The distractor annoying me if I use myself as shiny LEDs. Well, there is one thing you should probably consider at least, which is LEDs can help you learn your keyboard. So if you were to look at my key map, for example, one of the things that was a little bit difficult at first is, where is it? Here, nav. So I have backspace on this key and I have escape on this key. I highlighted the backspace key red with an LED. So like I knew this was destructive and the delete key was destructive. So if my LEDs worked, you'd see those two keys turn red. But then like home and end would turn green, for example. And by them both being the same color, I was like, oh, okay, that one's home, that one's end. So they can really help you learn. Hey, Joe. Made my own, have a temper, have a soulful. Can't get used to the lack of extra column on the right, nor the ortho, and maybe not even the split. Yeah. I think it's, if you have the know-how, customizing it is good. Like I ended up just chopping a column off of the corn that I had, which doesn't take a lot of expertise. And yeah, that way I just had a nice 5-column corn. Hey, worry. Oh yeah, sure, yeah. And if you haven't seen my video on it, I recommend watching, although you probably already know enough about it that the video won't be that interesting. All right, so we got to still finish looking through this, and then that'll probably be it. I just accidentally add some code. I sure hope not. So I look through loot boxes. I need to look through, well, I got to look through the scene too. So I'm going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll finish this up. Where I left off, looking through code at lootboxes.tscn. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, hello. Good job, Zoe. Close the game. Okay, so yeah, where we left off was, what, did that close? Yeah. Was this scene. And this scene, the problem was that I added in like a million item displays. This was just for testing. I don't want to check this in. So let's delete pretty much everything from here. So now if we start this up, we'll have one customer and one item. Oh no, we'll have two item displays. I didn't mean to keep that in, but oh, that's a problem. Or a coincidence. It could be. There is a chance of that happening, but I think it's always going to go to 0, 0 now. Yeah. Ah, isn't this fun? All right. This only happens in the, this is finished. Then we initialize this. Then this figures out, we could just set the pause to something greater than 0. But I don't understand why this isn't fixed at this point. Because we have pick new target. And what else do we have here? The initialization? Yeah. Well, let's try that. What a shame, though. What a shame. So that's good. Then we call into pick new target. Then we go into here. And the random point is set. And this is, oh, this is actually correct. Wait, did this change because I'm debugging this? Because that is possible. Yeah, it is possible. All right, well, we know the order there was going in the correct order. What about now? I want to put the breakpoint here again. It's 284.6. Okay, that's correct too. What's going on here? No, everything's working fine. I didn't even change any code, did I? Was that just a coincidence? It is entirely possible that it picks a point up here twice in a row. But it looked like it was picking exactly 0, 0. Yeah, like that. I think there's a race condition here still. Yeah, I think there's a race condition here. Although this only seems like it's happening when I run from Godot itself. And it happens consistently when I run from Godot. What would be different? Oh no, it didn't happen consistently. There it went down to the right. Why didn't I see that over here then? Yeah, it went down. And right. And I'll try one more time. And down again. Very strange. Yeah, I don't know why when I run from Godot, it goes to the upper left more often. Well, yeah, maybe it's something caused by a race condition. I think in the actual game, it won't matter unless you can save and load while you're inside this game. And even then, it wouldn't really matter because so what if they go to the upper left? Yeah, we might even just give them a wander region anyway. So yeah, I'm not super concerned about this. All right, this is fine. Well, it's fine as long as I deleted the other thing that I said I'd delete. Yeah, I did. That's fine too. This got moved somewhere. Get walk animation name. I guess customer needed this too. Lootbox walk animation. Here it is. Ah, interesting. Okay, that's fine. All right, so far so good. This is also nice. All right, so customer is brand new. Let's go take a look at this. We cache all of the sprite frames. Start by facing down. Not that that matters. Navigation region, navigation agent. It gets initialized with the region. Exit tree should never really be needed. Maybe it would be. No, let's probably queue free it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna delete this. Debug enable, we don't need this. That's fine. And this is probably fine too. I mean, I didn't see anything wrong. I want to get the broad strokes into the game because we need the actual gameplay to exist at some point. All right, so distance, stop moving. Yep. Yep. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of similar to the code we had in the other file. I'm not going to do anything about that for now. Customer.tscn, that looked reasonable. I had to change the collision dot that was there. This is fine, and this is fine. I think we've looked at this now, right? Yeah. This was in the other file that we had. Cool. Add nav mesh to loot boxes game. Customers, pick a, oh, and customers. Yeah. All right, done, and done with that. So here are all the things that we've finished. So on Wednesday, we can start the code for pretty much the rest of the gameplay. And I think we can have a decent idea for whether this is fun by the end of Friday. I'm going to get rid of all these things from the list. And this can be a cleanup thing. We should probably work on it ahead of time. It's not even that hard to do. Fix player collision. You can, what's the word? Overlap with the item displays because of the collision box. All right, so even trying to use AI, I used barely any of the quota. Whatever. Okay, well, I mentioned the schedule earlier, but I want to reiterate it for anyone who hasn't heard. There will be no stream tomorrow. I want to focus on YouTube content instead. I talked about that localization video that I wanted to do. I think that's what my goal is going to be for tomorrow. And then the stretch goal is going to be to make a devlog for Stuck in a Broken tutorial. What is Codex for? Codex is like the OpenAI ChatGPT coding thing. So what do I use it for though is just random tasks I might have. So like set up boilerplate for the scene, set up the, sprite frames that I need for something. So a lot of times I'll have something like this where it's like, okay, I have whatever number of sprites that are here. And I'm like, okay, now go make an animated sprite out of this. This is not artwork that needs to be done. It's just take this, figure out where the frame ends, like now put it into an animation, set the frame rate. Just that kind of boilerplate stuff. Anyways, that's Tuesday. Wednesday will probably be full day of development on this particular sub game. Thursday will probably be the top-down shooter music, assuming I don't make a lot of progress on it until then. And Friday will be same as Wednesday, I think. So that is the plan. I think we made it to, roughly the amount of time I want to stream for, because I have a lot of other stuff I need to do too. Actual repetitive boring work like AI should be used. Yeah, there's some other work where sometimes it's more exploratory. Like, I don't know. I guess the way I look at a lot of how I'm making this game is that we are making so many different sub games as part of this. So as an example here, we have so many games that are going to be like this. You move in 4 different directions. You have animations controlled when you're moving them. Yeah, this is really repetitive and boring. We also have some tooling that needs to be done. So like this tool that we made, this is a tool for viewing all the different sprites you might have and then setting colors and seeing if they look correct and like pausing this and going frame by frame and seeing is anything glitchy here. Like this tool was made by AI because I just don't want to spend the time on this stuff. Like I would have spent probably hours making this tool myself. It would have probably been worse in some ways. It'd be better in other ways. Yeah. Hey, Free Technic. Just too bitter toward AI today. Yeah. I think a lot of people have hit that sentiment. Also, I need to remove recolor test. Should write this down somewhere. Did this all get tabbed in? If not, something's wrong here. No. Something still looks wrong, right? Yeah. It should be tabbed into that level. Huh, strange. Okay, remove recolor test from the colorization tool. It just happened to be in the palette. Color, where is that? God, I gotta fix this list. It's so crazy. Oh man. Going all in on the parodying? I wouldn't say all in. Some games will be more of a commentary, some will be funny, some will be story driven, some will be mechanics driven, and some will be a combination thereof. Started working on it in the afternoon. Yeah, today was a pretty good day. I am happy. All right. Let's go raid somebody. Sorry, I I don't even know how to feel about raids. Let me ask something. How many of you enjoy raids? I know not many people are here. Probably a lot of people are lurking. If you want to keep lurking, that's totally fine. But how many of you are like, oh, I like seeing who Adam wants to go raid? I've seen some of you follow people that I've raided. But like earlier today, Cakes raided, and I like Cakes. I think he's an entertaining streamer. But I asked like, hey, does anyone know, did Cakes start a new game? And like nobody answered. Like no one seems to join in raids. I enjoy raids. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, I'll raid Daniel. I have not raided them in a very long time. They seem like a nice person when I raided them last. They're looking at some kind of fitness website right now. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're making that website. Well, thank you all for watching. I will be back on Wednesday. Yeah, no stream tomorrow. If you want to join Discord, there's a link. Let's all go say hi to Daniel, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.